I think my experience as an African in the U.S., and I would say African, has been a very, very positive and very enriching and eye-opening one. And that's because I think by being here, you get exposed to people from all walks of life. And that includes people from mainland Africa and the diaspora. And you get to realize both the differences between yourself and those people, but also the similarities.
The biggest thing for me, as far as the pros go, is probably what I call a globalization of my consciousness. Since I've been in the United States, I've been able to interact with what I think are a lot of the best minds from the Caribbean, a lot of the best minds from South America, a lot of the best minds from various parts of Africa, and in fact the whole world.
I think as an artist, I've really found a lot of really creative minds from different places that have sort of infused my work and my passion for the art that I do. So I've really enjoyed that experience living in the United States. One of the cons, I would say, is there's a sense of disconnectedness. You know, I have felt like it was very hard to find other people, to find a sense of community. And so basically I really missed my family. I missed the connections, the sense of unhu. And unhu means a sense of personhood that I had at home. So I missed that.
Well, Africa is portrayed as the dark continent, you know, wrought with poverty and hunger and disease and ignorance, and you know, it's just such a shame what the media has done a number on Africa, because that is not all of what Africa is. And hardly ever is the beauty of Africa portrayed, or the beauty of the African people.
For the most part, you are either, you know, starving, on the brink of starvation, you are hungry, homeless, you are in war-infested country, you know, basically begging for Eurocentric indoctrination in some capacity. That's at least what I see. You evidently can't do it by yourself. You know, you're probably illiterate, and you need to be saved. So those are the images that I see.
In addition to that, in addition to just giving negative images and covering sort of the sad, tragic stories of Africa, which Africa does have, but so do other parts of the world, the media is very skewed in terms of not portraying the successes of Africa and even the more contemporary images of Africa.
And I think we need to really, we meaning all of us, but also particularly as artists, we need to collectively change that. Particularly the ones who are involved in media. We need to figure out a way to change those images. So definitely, that's what I think about that.
The power of propaganda is not clarity of message, but repetition. If you repeat something and see it over and over again, particularly to the, you know, younger minds, it's very influential. Younger minds are almost defenseless. So this repetition of this negative image is what is totally colonizing the people, totally keeping those mental chains on them. And until, back home we say that until African lions can tell their own story, then the story of the hunt will always glorify the hunter. Until we Africans, such as yourself, Tato, can put our own image and our best foot forward, then our image will not be in our own likeness.
Mbuya always says, before she passed away, Hama, Hama Maoko, Hama, Hama Maoko.
To me, Pan-Africanism simply refers to the idea and philosophy that all people of African descent should unite. This philosophy rests on the notion that people on the African continent and people in the African diaspora share common struggles, aims, and destinies. And the African cultural value of unity of purpose and action underlies Pan-Africanism.
An African revival for those who are not in Africa So whether you're in the States or in Europe or in Australia, just an awakening of Africans who are away from Africa, an awakening about the beauty of our culture and the beauty of our continent, and the appreciation of it and the embracing of it. Mostly the embracing of it, I think. I mean, if there's one word I would use, I would say the embracing of Africa.
Yeah, so as far as the Renaissance is concerned, I think the important thing is to recognize that we still share common struggles, aims, and destinies. And the impetus for such an idea, the notion upon which it can rest, is the simple material, living, and working conditions of Africans and the majority of people in the African diaspora worldwide. Right there is more than enough impetus to provide that unity of purpose and that unity of action.
And I think you and I are a classic example of Pan-Africanism in action.
That's right.
Zimbabwe, Zambia, unite.
You know.
We're doing it.
The duty of our generation is to write the development chapter. It's time for Africa to rise. It's time for the standard of living of the majority of Africans to be raised. That includes understanding the true meaning and objective of national liberation and development. This generation has a duty to clearly decipher the difference between genuine national liberation and fictitious political independence. This generation has a duty to understand that in essence, the main battle against imperialism in Africa is neo-colonialist.
I think the responsibility falls primarily on people of Africa and the diaspora, because it is them who firsthand experience these challenges or the consequences of the challenges today. So they will, as a result, be most forced by situation to really address that and most committed to making a difference, because that difference is what benefits them.
In the house where you live, you have to build the roof. No one is going to come and build it for you.
And as my mom and my grandmother always says, Hama Maoko, which means your hands are your relatives. Your hands are your relatives. That's all we gotta say.
I recognize that there's a lot of challenges that all of us face, people, Africans who leave Africa to study elsewhere, to seek opportunities elsewhere in terms of developing their skills. There are a lot of challenges that we face, personal and professional, in terms of relocating back home. But I think once somebody exposes themselves and explores the realities that exist in terms of the condition of Africa, it gives a lot more passion and motivation and commitment towards going back. And the reward of knowing that you are doing that, you are going to go back and contribute, on some level, defray the frustrations of the infrastructure and the healthcare system, of the politics, the financial constraints, and other challenges you will face when going back.
So definitely I want to go home. My mom needs me, and I miss the sun. I miss the language. There's nothing like the language. I miss that. I miss the laughter and being able to really get down and talk nyayas with people who know what's up, instead of having to, translate and speak English all the time, because that's the only language you know to be able to connect with someone. So I miss speaking. So I'm looking forward to going home, definitely.
My home, to me, like I've said, is the future. I intend to spend my days there doing the best work that I do at home. In my tradition, a man can only rest in peace when he has done his duty to his people. And I feel the best place for me to do that would be where my people are.